Welcome to today's New Mom Monday. I am Fancy Nancy, and this is Bree with Jackson.
He knew it was showtime. He's going to get fussy.
It's showtime,
Hi, guys.
Jackson.
We actually
That's
had
awesome.
a segment today planned to talk about knowing your rights. In fact, if you were on social media earlier today, you probably saw
knew
that's
that.
what we were going to do. And
But-
I was going to share my birth plan and some different things that sometimes as parents we don't think we're allowed to do or know
Right.
what we can do.
Yeah.
So we're
Knowing
not
your
gonna do that today.
We will do it though.
We
I mean,
will
it's-
do it.
And Bree
That's
was
gonna
all,
be.
You were prepared for it.
I
You're
was highly prepared. We've got
totally
my
set.
birth plan on a link for if those are interested.
Mm-hmm.
We can still send that out early. But today, baby Jackson here is not feeling so good. This is the
Yeah.
star of the show.
He is
so
just not quite, you know how that is as a mom, and as a new mom, especially when it's your first baby, you're like,
yeah.
something is off and you don't know what it is. How do you
Yeah.
figure it out? What is it? So I just kind of wanted to fire away questions for Bree because we always reference this crunchy scale on the show and talk about how I'm very a year into being crunchy and following a healthy lifestyle and the wellness way approach and is what we usually call it. And you've been doing it for 9+ years.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
So for me, Bree has all of the answers, as far as being a mom with, following this lifestyle. So I kind of just wanted to ask Bree questions on how she's handling it with Jackson, and he's not really fussy.
No.
He's just not quite.
I just knew I could not concentrate to go into medical laws.
Right.
Excuse me, hospital births,
Yeah.
this and that.
Birth plans, saying no about
Birth plans,
vaccines,
yeah,
all of that.
different things with him not feeling well. So because we didn't plan it, he's probably going to sit here the whole time and be an
Right.
angel. But it brought up a good point. So for those just tuning in, I have a 12-year-old, a 4-year-old, 3.5-year-old, and then baby Jackson here. And I've been through the whole gamut of non-crunchy, crunchy,
Right.
non-crunchy,
Yeah.
medical,
You've gone through it all.
all different things. So natural remedies and vice versa. So yesterday, baby Jay here. Hi.
Is he awake now?
He is a little bit. Was not feeling the
looks so
best.
cute
He
today,
was
too.
spitting up a lot, which super common for babies,
Sure.
right? Although common does not mean normal, as we
Mean
like to
normal.
say. So
And we've talked about food allergies on the
yeah,
show
so
before.
I thought, man, what did I eat? But we stayed home all weekend. Actually, I
you
don't think I
knew-
left. So I
You
knew
actually
everything.
just realized that you
Leave
never
my
left the house for the week.
Maybe that's why I'm a basket case today. Mama has to leave the house.
Yeah, you need to get out of the house.
So I
So
didn't
you
think
don't
anything
think it
of
was
it. I
anything-
thought maybe something was slipped in. Did I try
Yeah.
a bite of the kid's toast with butter
Right.
on it, so on and so forth. So for those that don't know, baby Jay can't do any dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the middle of the night last night, he was hot. I mean, roasting, and I went, oh, okay. He's
Like
he's
fever
definitely
hot.
he's fighting something off. He's coming
Yeah.
down with something.
Mhm.
So one would say, oh, bummer, your baby's sick. And I
Right.
went, no, the opposite. First off, when they're sick, it builds their immune system.
True.
They can't build an immune system if they don't come into contact with bugs when
With
they're little.
something, yeah.
Right?
Right.
Second, it's the week before Christmas. It's not the week of Christmas. So I'd much rather it happen this
rather
week.
him be sick now than later.
Yeah.
They're just not feeling
Because
quite right.
I'm lucky. This is a big plug, but I
Mm-hmm.
seriously believe it, to work at the Wellness Way. So I get to bring my baby with
Yeah,
me
so you
one
get to
day a
bring him
week. And I know tomorrow, if needed, I'll just
Stay
wear him
home
all
from-
day.
yeah.
And,
Oh,
yeah,
so okay.
so-
Did you take his temp? Like what was his fever?
I don't even have a thermometer.
I knew that was what you were gonna say.
I have
so you
one.
didn't.
But it's the bath toy with the rubber ducky that like
That doesn't actually.
it doesn't
say
actually
it's
work.
not
And then I got
accurate?
one and it didn't actually work. I am
So you
big.
didn't take it.
I didn't. And
does he still have a fever? Like according to your cheek?
Yep.
He does?
He's
still has a
definitely
fever?
warm. I wouldn't say that
Yeah.
he's burning up. He was definitely warm in the middle of the night. And
And so what do? Do you
cuddled him.
keep him in his
I
because when you
kept
have
him
a
in a
fever,
little
you're
cocoon.
chilly, right?
Yeah. So what is it? A fever over 103 or 105 can cause febrile seizures,
Right.
which I have not ever had to deal with. I've never had I do have another mom, uber crunchy, I swear.
Yeah.
She's had a few babies that have hit the febrile seizures, and she goes, they
Really?
just go through it and they're fine.
Oh
And
my gosh, that to me,
it's
like
scary.
that's
So
I
I'm
would
in
not
the
be able to handle
boat
that.
when
Oh,
When I get nervous when baby gets extremely lethargic and there's no wet diapers.
Right. That's
He was
something
nursing
to watch for.
fine. Actually, I was up what felt like every hour nursing.
So then did you feed him more? You just kind of did whatever he needed?
On demand.
Yeah.
Yep,
right.
yep. If
makes
he was
sense.
going to get I wanted him to be hydrated. So once I knew it wasn't that I ate something bad
Right.
and that he was definitely coming down with the bug, fighting something off, adapting, creating antibodies to whatever's going on.
You just
I
kept him
wanted to nurse
comfortable.
more. So my body will produce the antibodies for what he's going through because he's nursing.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
That's
actually
cool.
it'd be fun to take like pump breast milk today versus yesterday. It might be a different color.
Really?
It'll test different. Yeah. So
no idea.
he
That's
has
cool.
my immune system. He's living off my immune system. So the saliva touches me when he
Right.
nurses. It will create the
What
antibodies
you
that
would
he
need
needs
to fight off
correct.
the same
so
thing.
I
Okay.
personally am making sure, knowing he was coming down with something,
Right.
I'm pounding my vitamin D and my elderberry and making sure my immune system is there. And I don't want to get sick and trying to take care of a sick baby. So he is smiling up a storm.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so in the middle
So
of the
you
night,
just kept him comfortable.
very different than I would have done with Bella. I would have gotten up, I would have grabbed the Tylenol.
Tylenol right
which
away.
If you watched last
Right.
week's episode, we addressed why we try to stay away from
Yeah.
Tylenol,
We did some of
ibuprofen,
the VOCs.
acetaminophen.
Yeah.
So
Understandable.
I didn't grab the Tylenol. I kept him warm. So that fever, if you picture it, what does everybody do to kill bacteria?
You use hot water.
You
Or
use hot water.
yeah.
You boil your pump
Right.
parts. You boil
Like, I
your
remember,
bottles.
I mean, it was probably a year ago now that I was asking Doc about my sister's little girl had a fever. And I'm asking, you know how it is, like, I was new and I'm like, okay, Doc, like, what should my sister do for my niece's fever? And he's like, who does the dishes at your house? I'm like, are you even listening to what I'm asking you? And I'm like, well, Brian does them. He goes, okay, well, when Brian does the dishes, does he use hot or cold water? And I'm like, hot? I'm still kind of confused about why he's asking me about dishes until he said that. And I'm like, well, he uses hot water because it kills off, it kills off the bacteria, it kills off the germs or whatever. So the body has to heat up in order to kill off that stuff.
Yeah,
which,
so that's how I
makes sense
picture it.
when you think about
It's
it.
a little inferno. And he was eating just fine. He had plenty of wet diapers. He was definitely lethargic. He definitely wanted to snuggle.
Yeah.
And we spent some hours of the night upright in the chair so he could breathe better.
Right.
But he was good. Now, there are some quote unquote natural remedies for fever. I don't touch those. I've not had to touch them with my boys.
What
They're
kind
there.
of, I don't know what those
You can
are.
put vinegar on the feet.
Oh, okay.
There's other
Did you do
different,
any
I think
oils?
belladonna. I don't do any oils yet at
'Cause he's
this
so
little.
little?
He's so little. The verdict is out. If needed, I would do that in a heartbeat over something else. What I will do, I can't use any peppermint right now
Right,
because of
'cause
breastfeeding. So my mom, he was not feeling, he had a cold a couple weeks ago. We were up at my grandma's house. My grandma and my mom were putting Breathe, it's a peppermint stick,
Yeah.
on their chest. Then they were holding the baby.
That's
so
a good
he
idea.
could breathe it in. He
Or even a
loved it.
diffuser in the room or something. That's
Again,
probably
it's the whole, the verdict's
because of the
out.
age.
Because of the age. I will do it in the house. I will do it if I need to. But last night,
Yeah.
it's the trust your mommy instinct.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel any need to. I was confident. Now, I couldn't wait to get him in this morning to get adjusted.
I was going to ask about that. So do you do more than your
Yeah.
normal adjustment? Because normally he just gets adjusted once a week, right?
Once a week, because that's when we're here. If I'm in with the other kiddos, he'll get adjusted too. Minimally, I like to do once a week. But when they're sick, absolutely, as much as I can, because to remove the interference.
Okay.
On
Well, and
what's
that was
going on
one of
with
the
the
other
body.
things I was going to ask about is how do you know, because this is something that I don't know why, maybe it's just because my kids always had ear infections, but how do you know when it's more than just, oh, he's fighting something off? Now, when you follow like the lifestyle that you have, you're not going to start doing Tylenols and taking them in right away, but let's go the opposite direction of, I do Tylenol and my kid's still fussy all the time. Do I take them in? Do I not take them in? Or how do you know if it's ears?
So there's your spectrum, right? I'm over here.
Yeah.
Mainstream medical's over here. They're going to say, baby just coughed, take them in.
Right.
I'm
Good
in the
point.
boat of, my mind, I walk myself through, what are they going to be able to do?
True.
Okay? So my husband is dealing with an issue in his hip, and it's going down. It was in his lower back. It's 10 times better. Of course, he's in here doing his therapies. He's the doctor's here. There are points where he is in so much pain, and as he's lifted wrong, we've done it, right? Everybody says,
right.
Do I go in?
Right.
And he says to me, what are they going to do?
What are they going to do different than what you're going to do? Right.
Put him on Vicodin to cover the pain?
Yeah.
That's all they're going to. So, okay, at this point, he's got a fever. He's obviously still just fine. That's a microphone. You want to say something? What are they going to do for him?
Right. And if you take him in,
Nothing.
they'll probably say, his ears look good. He must just be fighting something off. It's a virus.
This is why
and
everybody
then
should
that's
have
it.
a chiropractor.
Right.
None of my kids have ever, I should say, after we learned with Bella, none of my kids have ever gone into the doctor until after we realized there was nothing the chiropractor could do.
Right.
There's nothing we could do,
Right.
which has not happened. I haven't been at the doctor's.
Really?
My kids are just
they're healthy.
here.
They're healthy
They're
because they're
alive.
doing what you're doing now, which is
he's on his
he's learning how to fight this
fourth
stuff off.
poop of the day, coming from the kid who usually only goes a couple times a week because he's breastfed. But again, wet diapers, pooping, fine.
Yeah, tears if he's crying, the usual things when you Google what to watch for with a fever.
So
So you're just
I'm
keeping
okay
him
with it.
comfortable.
Yeah, and back to what I was saying when you had brought up ear infections.
Yeah.
I have not had to do antibiotics yet for an ear infection. We can adjust it away, I like to say, drain the tubes, and then do some breast milk and or hydrogen peroxide or silver in the ears, also orally. And so that's always going to be my first step is the chiropractor.
To know. That's a good place to start. And it's not a croupy cough. It's not anything crazy. It's just he's got a little bit of like red eyes. Can they see him? I don't know if they can see how cute he is.
Now he's getting hungry, but he was due to eat. He was due to eat before, so
and he was sleeping. We passed him around the office a little bit. Oh, that's something I was going to mention too. You said you stayed home all weekend.
Yes.
Didn't realize you never even left the house. Not because he was not feeling well, but even for today, I'm like, you brought him in, even though and she's passing him around the office and.
Well, other than right now, because he's getting a little bit hungry, or wants to get up and walk. What do you think, buddy? So do you want to go for a little walk?
We can finish.
Do you want to go
pretty
for a
quick
little walk?
Look at how he is so cute.
Look at him. Hi, he's smiling.
This is his blanket and his nook. Thanks, Dad. But anyway, so you were fine with him coming in and seeing everybody and being out.
I was actually going to cancel show.
Yeah.
I was going to send a text to Brianna, who does all our social media scheduling, and say, New Mom Monday is canceled. And then he was fine, and he was smiling, and he was happy. And I thought, now if he was 4, it's a little bit different. What he's doing here is no different than he'd be doing at home.
Right.
Bopping him around, rocking him. So I thought I'll come in and get some stuff done today, and we'll do New Mom Monday. And then we decided
talk about him.
an hour or two in that mommy brain with little bit of less sleep last night that we would save the
and a fussy Jackson.
So
cool. Well, I don't see any questions. I was just looking to see if there were any questions. Your dad is wondering when Bella and Jace are going to be on the show.
next Monday.
Next Monday, because you're going to be doing it at home.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve.
Yes.
So they had asked, should we cancel New Mom Monday? And we said, let's just do a little different spin on it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to highlight a couple of things that are my favorite must-haves as a new mom. And I don't have to cart them here because I'm doing it at home.
So all the kids will be on next week.
Yeah.
So you get to see all 3 of them.
And Wes, so 4.
Unless he doesn't watch, right?
He doesn't have Facebook.
Yeah. I don't
My
think
husband
so.
doesn't have Facebook. Yeah.
No. He doesn't have Facebook.
I don't
or
think
watch
he
the
knew me and his son were doing a New Mom Monday show till all
Until
the
your mom said something?
Well, the grandmas come on every day, or every Monday, just so they can watch Jackson. And he's like, "What are you
that's
talking
so
about,
funny.
Grandma?"
That's awesome.
So
they can watch Jackson, not so they can watch you.
No, they just want to watch
They
Jackson.
just wanna
His
watch
grandma
him.
told
Good
me
thing
though,
he was
hi
on
Grandma
today.
Donna, if grandmas watch. I know Grandma Mary watches, all the different grandmas watch. But
That's awesome.
the great grandmas, I should say, that's actually Jackson's
yes.
great grandmas. She was telling me the other day, she goes, I learned so much about poop and teething. She
You're
goes, I
welcome.
just watch it so I can
Yeah.
see Jackson. But they're learning things. She goes, I never would have thought about
It's just
that.
a different
So
perspective.
it's
a different way of
perspective.
thinking.
And that's what I think about baby Jay, as we like to
Right.
call him, being sick today.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You're not freaking out about it.
It is the third, so
That
you know,
helps.
it helps.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is, but no, nursing often, staying hydrated, keeping him comfortable, lots of cuddles,
Right.
and adjustments.
Well, not lots of adjustments, but a couple adjustments.
I don't know, every day I'm ready. He's not sleeping, adjust him.
Yeah.
He's not doing this. His clothes don't fit right, adjust him.
Yeah, and does it work like magic? It's just a matter of
It rates up
relieving-
there, there's like CBD, adjustments, and wine.
And
Like,
wine.
that's my top 3 things that you need
Wine
to
for
succeed in
you.
life. Yeah, for me.
Not for Jackson.
No.
I mean, hi
So-
Sarah. My sister Sarah's watching. She's got my girls today.
Ooh.
Yeah, my
Hi,
kids
Sarah.
are off of school.
That'd be Aunt Sarah then,
Yeah,
right?
Auntie Sarah. She has 4 of her own, and then she has my 2 girls, and Finley's at the sitter. But my kids are done with school, like until 2019.
We have this whole week yet.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and then-
I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my kids? So Auntie Sarah to the rescue. She's got the girls. So I don't see any other questions here, and we kind of knew this show was going to be a little bit shorter. But Rachel says she's disappointed we didn't do the other topic about knowing your rights, but we will do it.
That's going to be
It's-
Monday.
yeah.
What is the first Monday of January?
I probably have a calendar on my broken phone. January 7th.
January 7th.
Yeah.
So we are going to do that January 7th.
So know your rights, birth plan, that sort of thing will
That
be
kind of
January
thing.
7th.
Yeah.
So the next 2 Mondays will just be
But again, here we can kind of talk about it today.
Sure.
It's my right as a mom, for me and my husband, to decide when we want to take the baby in, when we
Right.
don't want to take the baby.
Yes.
Where there's a stigma out there of if you don't take your child to the doctor, you're one of those backyard hippies. That's what people like to say. You don't. No, he's not miserable. He's fully
Right.
happy. I mean, other than right now, but he just wanted to
he's
walk.
well,
but
he's hungry now,
otherwise,
too.
we had somebody. Deb actually came in and said today, he's sick.
Yeah.
He looks fine.
Right, and
you know.
you wouldn't know if and he's fighting it
So,
off, and because
He's fighting it
of
off.
this,
He's building his immune system.
he's going to end up fighting it off even
I
quicker
look
the
at
next
Jace,
time.
and when he's sick, it might take a day or 2.
Mhm.
Bella is minimum 3 days. She's missing school.
Mhm.
It is just.
So you can tell that
she's-
because of what you did when they were younger, and just the way that you
I
live
do.
your
I
lifestyle.
do
Yeah.
100% feel it is. I have 3 kids, 2 and 1 raised very differently,
Mhm.
and Bella knows it. She says, when I get sick, she's out.
Yeah.
You know, somewhat drama of being a girl. That's day 4.
Like a preteen girl,
yeah.
not just a girl.
But
a
it is it hits her hard. It takes
Mhm.
her a while to recover when she does.
Yeah, she just
So.
doesn't have that immune system. So thanks for bringing Jackson in, even
Yeah.
though he's not quite
We're gonna leave a little early
up to
today.
par.
Go
Yeah,
home and cuddle.
right.
but-
Yeah, so just trust your instinct. Do adjustments. CBD oil or CBD wine for you.
Not when the baby's
These
sick
are-
though, because you got to be up a lot. I wouldn't suggest that. There's
These
natural
are not.
alternatives. There's natural things to do, but I like to make them comfortable and see where they're at. Let the body do what it's created to do.
So
Fevers are not bad. I think Christy has a whole
she
video
does,
out
yeah,
there. It's
and
really
I think
good.
Brianna tagged it already
Did she
on
take
the video.
it good?
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't mean to specifically get into fevers today because Christy has a really good one out there.
Yeah, which
But
is
I just
great.
wanted to touch on he's sick and
And what do you
and
do?
we're still going on. And
Do you have to have a PCP for your child?
primary care provider? You do not. No, I do
and
not.
if you do need, and this is something
If you need
that
to
we've
list
talked
one
about.
on one for the daycare, just list your wellness way doctor.
Yeah,
'cause
you
that's
can
what
list,
I do.
You can list your wellness way doctor, and even if as the kids get older, we've talked about this in some other shows, and you need a physical for soccer or something, you can use a wellness way doc.
Yeah, or your chiropractor, or we do
Chiropractor,
not carry a PCP provider, and it's not an insurance versus insurance reason. We do, through my husband's work, have full coverage. We don't. There's no reason for me to bring my kids to a PCP because they're going to tell me what growth percentile they're in, and they're either going to freak me out or not.
Which you can Google, probably.
Which I can Google probably. I can look at this kid and say this one's
Yeah.
a tank,
Yeah.
and Jace is a
Jace is
peanut,
tiny,
you know.
yeah.
And they're going to push different things that we're not going to do. So we do not have a PCP, primary care provider. We have our chiropractors. We have, it's there when it's necessary. We've been to urgent care with Bella when she thought she was having an appendicitis. It's drama. She was totally fine.
Just girl drama.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just a cramp, really.
Oh no.
But we do.
That's
we
a
go
whole
in, and
different
it was comforting
topic.
for her. Yeah. So, and we wanted to be careful. That's your trust your mommy instincts. I didn't
Right.
know she was screaming. We went in. She
Yeah.
was fine. We did some blood tests. Paid a bunch of money to find out that she was fine, but she was fine.
But to
She was
find
good.
out.
Yeah. So we don't have a primary care provider. What was I going to say about that before that popped up?
They're just going to push vaccines? I mean, you didn't say that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say
They're just going to push other
But they're
things,
gonna
so
push
we
vaccines.
don't have
Yeah.
a.
But we'll talk about that. January 7th is that other show. And then you can see Bree and all her kids next Monday, right?
Yeah.
As long as it all works out at 2 o'clock on Christmas
We'll
Eve.
do it at 2 o'clock. Jace might be sleeping
Yeah.
for
Well, he takes
nap
his
time, but the other ones will be there. Bella might be behind the camera, but
You got to make Wes go behind the camera so that Bella can be on with
he
you.
is off work,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
might
as long
have to.
do I need to give him some lessons on like how to use
how to hold the
how
camera.
to hold the camera?
Yeah.
We could do that. Cool.
Cool.
All right. One more question. Oh, so do you have, so do you do anything if you think your little guy has an ear infection or anything? And we talked about that a little bit, Lindsay, just with,
Yeah, ear
Bringing him into the
infection,
chiro.
chiropractic immediately. You can look at study after study after study on chiropractic and ear infection. So they're gonna do that, and then I take it a step further too, and I always do put in the ear. Breast milk is my go-to. If I've got
that's
it.
another show, by the way, all of these uses, every time I talk to Bree about something, like, well, what do you do for pink eye? And what do you do for this? It's breast milk.
I remember
all
if
the
my
time.
dad's still on, he will remember this. Jace is laying on the floor. He had a clogged tear duct, so he was getting the bacteria in his eye, and he's probably a week and a half old. And tiny. And my dad was there, so I used a syringe to put it in. He goes, "What are you doing? What are you putting in his eye?" And I'm like, "Breast milk." And his face just, what? And then when
I'm glad
had
you used a syringe. Can you imagine? Oh my God.
then when I had Jackson,
That's awesome.
also the new babies, they must just get stuff in their eye, and he goes, "Oh, you're putting stuff. What do you put in?" And he goes, "Never mind. I know what you're putting in his eye. You do not have to tell me."
Yeah, that's breast milk.
So, but
That's
again,
what it is.
stuff you have on hand that's free.
Right.
So living the
Use it.
lifestyle doesn't have to cost a ton of
No,
money.
That's a good point.
It doesn't have to be a all or nothing kind of thing. So
Renee says she had asked the question about the PCP, and she said, we haven't been since she was 6 months, and she's 3 now. She said it makes her feel like a better mom. Yes, you don't need to go to a PCP.
so we'll do one more little quick story, and
Is
then
this
we'll go
your-
see if.
CPS story?
Oh, that's a different
Okay.
one. That's a totally different one. Which CPS?
Okay. Okay, one more
No.
story, and then we'll be done. You can
Yeah,
go
no, that was
feed
because I
Jackson.
didn't have a PCP. They threatened CPS on me because I didn't, and nothing ever came of it. They can't do that.
Yeah.
But they tried,
Yeah.
and they threatened
But that'll
it.
be
And
part
now
of the Know Your Rights
I just
stuff.
don't. I just say, here's my PCP is my chiropractor. So,
Just get 'em
which
off
I
your
did
back.
when we had the emergency delivery in Rhinelander when Jackson came in 20 minutes when we were on vacation. We'll talk about that in the birth
Those
plan. And how your birth plan goes
Yeah.
out the window.
awry.
And
yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't. It never
So-
goes as planned.
I left the PCP. More power to them. And I think they're there. I don't know. Not even gonna try to sugarcoat it. Whatever.
Anyway.
Took Bella into her provider for the typical thing. We were starting to have issues. She was starting to have baseball-sized stools. She was starting to cry and scream when she was going to the bathroom.
Aw.
And I called. That was the Miralax story, and they told me to put her on Miralax. And I said, "Well, how long?" And they said, "Forever."
Yeah.
And so I came into the office, and Dr. Flynn said, "Just go gluten-free." Like, no big deal, right?
Right.
This is 9.
Like everybody knows
Not
that, right?
everybody.
Just go gluten-free.
This is 10 years ago. Gluten-free
Yeah.
was not a thing
It
back
wasn't-
then.
yeah.
Yeah, small rant when everybody says this gluten-free is just a fad. Well, all I know is that my child that can't touch wheat now
Right.
has the opportunity to eat out. So I'm really getting sick of hearing about the gluten-free
The fad.
because whether it's celiacs or not, she can eat. So
Right.
y'all can
That's
put that
what
in your
matters. Okay.
juice box.
Juice box.
Little thing I saw on social media a couple weeks ago really bothered me, but
Tell us, Bree, how you really feel about that.
I was really mad about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when you see your 5-year-old being able to eat out with the family because there's options,
there's gluten-free
I don't
options.
care if it's a fat or not, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, my mother-in-law also has celiacs, and she can go to dinner now without getting sick. It's a big deal. So,
it is a big deal.
anywho, back to the other side
The
rant.
other story, yep.
They're gonna call us Doc and Ross. We
Oh,
look like
no,
Doc
that's
and
right.
Ross. We're not supposed to.
Because you just keep talking. I'm just kidding.
So
This
they
was gonna
told
be a
me,
short
put her on Miralax, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Came into the Wellness Way. I did not work here at the time. And
Go
big
gluten-free.
reason of why I wanted to start working here. I kind of begged them for a job. And now here I am 10 years later, still here. And he said, go gluten-free. So we were able to get her off the Miralax. It was fantastic. Changed our diet, changed our world. And she stopped screaming as a toddler. It was horrifying. So that was simple for her. Finding out later a little more food allergies that we had to deal with. But at the time, it was a quick, just try this till your blood test comes back. Try this till we can do some other things. So that was before the days of aloe juice and all these other cool remedies that we have now. And CBD.
And wine.
Yeah. But, so that was phase 1. Phase 2 went back to the primary care provider, went in, did the growth charts. Do you have any questions? No, I don't. Hey, super exciting. She doesn't have to take Miralax. Isn't this awesome?
You told them this?
Yep, told them this. They didn't really have much to say. They're like, oh, it's probably a coincidence. It's a coincidence that we pulled her off gluten and she stopped crying every day on the toilet. Okay. And so she was talking about vaccines and that the trust your mommy instinct.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do what I want to do. You're allowed to do what you want to do, especially in the state of Wisconsin, which is really cool. You're not allowed to do that in every state anymore.
No,
but
that's sad.
So I went back and I just started asking questions. I didn't know anything. I didn't work here at the time. I just started seeing all these things. Something in me said, man, after she gets these, something isn't right. Do we need to look at space? This is newbie Bree.
Oh, sure.
Do we need to look at
there's a lot of
spacing
people
these
out
out?
there that are newbie
What is this
Bree.
at?
That was me. I'm like, do we just separate these, or how does this all
Yeah,
work?
something in me. They pushed and they pushed, and she literally sat me down, and she told me. I'm refraining from using the name because I know
This
that's
is your
not
PCP.
appropriate. Yeah, this is Bella's provider. She literally told me that I would be a bad mom. That I'm lucky that in today, these are her exact words. I will never forget this. This was 10 plus years ago. I am lucky that all the neighborhood moms vaccinate because my kid will probably be okay. But it's moms like me that put everybody at risk. And I wasn't even saying no at the time. I was just saying, can I have more information?
Yeah, you were just asking questions.
Just something. There was no social media back then.
No.
There was no videos. There was nothing. Just something in me. And she literally told I would be a bad mom. And I left there and I came here and I said, I need an adjustment. And this is when we did walk-in adjustments. I was already a patient. And Dr. Flynn spent 15 minutes. I think the girls at the front desk were like,
Get him out of there.
Get out of there. He has. And he walked me through Miss Pac-Man and Mr. Pac-Man, his thing with the T cells and vaccines and how it works, the quick layman's terms of the scientific. And I left there going, okay, like I left the PCB saying, I'm going to call you back and get this rescheduled, but I just want time to look into this. They were mad. It was outrageous. And I left here, and something in me said, I'm never giving her another vaccine again. And I started researching and looking and not just relying on somebody said they were bad or this. And now she has a severe egg allergy.
What has egg in it?
Exactly. We have done a ton of gut healing. She's lost like 20 of her food allergies. She's come a long way. We've dealt with different anxiety and different things. Her egg allergy does not move. It doesn't. Not duck eggs, not regular eggs, quail eggs.
Not even duck eggs. Nothing.
She actually now is to the point where she knows it breaks her face out, so she will say, I'm not eating that. The other day I said to her, just to kind of test the waters, I can't believe I'm admitting this on camera. Mom, don't watch. I said, do you want to just try a bite? And she's like, well, there's probably eggs in there. And I said, well, try a bite of it, which I shouldn't do because we don't do that.
Well, especially, yeah.
And I
for your
wanted to
kids.
let her make this, and she says to me, she goes, have you seen this face? Because she's got her acne. She goes, this face is not touching eggs.
Oh, no.
She
so
must
does
have
she
gone,
know that that's why?
She does
that's
know
where
that.
it comes
So she
from.
must have somehow, I think it was too much sugar or something,
Mm-hmm.
or cross-contamination. She does really good trying to avoid it.
Avoid eggs.
But finding out now she's got this high egg allergy. There's a huge correlation between vaccines and egg allergies. I don't know. I don't know what would have happened if she was due. This was her 2-month shots. So she was due for a
So you could have
whammy,
done
or
a
18
whole...
month or 2 years. She was due for a whammy.
Right.
Three of a kind of each, and
all of the above.
I didn't.
So basically, this conversation now stemmed off of Renee saying, so I'm not a bad mom to not have a PCP. No, you're not a bad mom to not have a PCP.
Just like you're not a bad mom to have a PCP.
Right. Well, Brianna says, just got told the same thing last week from my 4-week-old son. I was told to find a new provider. Yes, find a new provider. Can I say that?
Yeah.
You should find a new provider.
They get. Are we doing this today? We're doing this today.
I don't know if we're doing this today.
We're doing this
Sounds
today.
like it.
They get bonused out. This is common public knowledge. I have different friends that work at United Healthcare and Humana, different things.
Yeah,
this is
crazy.
common knowledge. It's not just conspiracy theory. They get bonused out by the percentage of their population in their practice that is vaccinated.
Right.
Let that sink in.
Yep. So
They get
make
bonused
more
out.
money if more kids get
Vaccinated.
vaccines.
So now they're hitting thresholds. So let's say, I don't know the specific numbers.
Well, which is
Let's
why
say
we got...
you have to be 95% vaccinated.
Mhm.
If that drops below and you're looking at $100,000 a year, a significant amount of money,
Right.
of course the provider is going to
Yeah,
say.
they don't want you.
Some are doing it because they feel in their heart the schooling that they've had, they are going to do these vaccines. But a large
Sure.
majority of them,
Is because of the
I
financial gain.
hate to say it, I do feel is that threshold and that
And we
structure.
have we have a couple of really good videos on our YouTube page, on the Wellness Way Clinic's YouTube page, from Dr. Sherry Tenpenny.
Yeah.
And she goes through a lot of some of those details on what these doctors get and what their goals are, basically, and how they're, taught to push vaccines.
Yeah, because she is
one
in
of
the
the-
medical field,
Yeah.
the traditional Western medicine field.
Which explains why there were a number of us at the office, I don't know if it's a national thing, that got phone calls from the CDC saying that, your
That's
child is not up to date on their immunizations and all this stuff. So they're cracking down on making sure that everyone's got their immunizations.
I just keep getting the flyers for free immunization and free assistance now that I was in the CPS system because I didn't go to my PCP appointment with my newborn. Another show, another story.
That is another show, another story.
But again, I laugh and joke about it because I am not one bit worried. And there are moms out there.
Because you have
Because
come a long way from where
Correct.
you started.
And I know what the rules are in our state, and I know what they take some time. Again, our show is to get people to take some time to look it up.
Yeah, do your research.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be the name of the show.
Do your research.
Do your research. Because
On
oftentimes...
Monday, do your research.
Yeah, oftentimes, though, it just kind of comes back around to changing your thinking and doing your research and knowing what's out there for teething or what's out there for VOCs or what's out there, and just thinking differently about some of those things. So
we'll try to stick with alternatives and different things, but we'll go on
our rants.
our rants.
I don't go on rants. I don't do that. I'm the Ross side. You're the bad Dr. Flynn side. All right, so this was going to be a short show. I feel like we do that every week. Let's see where we at. 33 minutes?
Nancy!
Oh, no.
Bad.
That's really bad. That's way too long. Okay, well, you're going to go feed Jackson. See where he's
if he's
at.
hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Nothing much more to say about all that.
Yeah. See you guys next
All
Monday.
right, see you next week.